Okay, we're back in Lightroom in our catalog, and we have imported 215 new photos. We put them into a new folder that we created, or new library shelf, as it were, called New Photos. And that's all very good and well, but oh, and actually I want to show you that it also created that same folder. This is always mimicking. It says New Photos over here. So it's actually created that folder on your hard drive. Now that's fine, but you might say to yourself, really, I don't want to have just this file called New Photos. And I've noticed that everything in here is actually Golden Gate Park. So I'm going to rename it. I'm just going to click into it over here on my hard drive and call it Golden Gate Park because that's actually what it is. Now, this is the cardinal sin of Lightroom, and you'll find out why. We're going to go back to Lightroom. And not only is the file not named Golden Gate Park, but there's a big question mark on the folder. And if we go over to the files, there's these exclamation points on all of the files. Now this is going to happen to you, I guarantee it. If we hover over them, it says, photo is missing. Oh, this is horrible. And if we click on one of these and go to develop, it says the file could not be found. Oh, this is scary because you'll think that your files are gone, but they're not. We actually know for a fact they're on the hard drive. It's just that you cheated on Lightroom, you renamed it outside of Lightroom, and now Lightroom has no idea where it is. And Lightroom's mad. That's how it takes its vengeance. Now, for the time being, the easiest solution is to just go back and rename this file exactly what it's named in Lightroom, the way it was before. And now Lightroom is happy with you. But you might not be happy. You might be saying, I don't want to call this folder New Photos. I want to call it Golden Gate Park. Am I stuck with this file? No, you're not. But you do need to do this in Lightroom. So if you right click on this folder, you can see that you can go down here, rename, and I can call this Golden Gate Park. And if I save it, it's totally happy, nothing's missing. If I go back to my hard drive, it's actually renamed it on my hard drive as well. But now you're looking at this and saying, well, now that I've renamed it Golden Gate Park, I realize it should actually be in this folder, everything else. So without really thinking about how Lightroom feels about things, you throw it into this folder. And guess what? The same thing happens again. Now this time you've just moved the folder, you haven't renamed it, but Lightroom doesn't know that you put it onto a different shelf. You've moved all the books in the middle of the night and you didn't tell Lightroom that you did it. So you're going to have to actually make it up to Lightroom in a few different ways. The easiest way, again, let's just go back and just say a do-over. We're going to put it back where it was. We'll look at some more complicated methods later, but let's keep it simple. It's happy now, but again, you're saying, I don't want it here. I want it in this other folder. Just do it in Lightroom. Very easy. Just move it up to everything else. It's going to give you this warning, which I leave on. You can turn it off, but I usually just leave this on so I remember that I'm actually moving files. It moves it up there, and it moves it here. So that's excellent. So all you need to remember is you always do things in Lightroom. Now from there you can also move around and create subfolders and move things around. Just remember to always do it in Lightroom. Let's say that not all of these should go in everything else. There's actually a few files at the bottom here that are part of your abstraction assignment. Let's say these files down here. Now I can select them by clicking on the first one, holding the shift key, clicking the last one, and they're all selected. And once I have them selected, inside of Lightroom, very important, I can just drag them and put them into a new folder. And notice it's saying, oh, you're actually moving the files, and it moves the files. And that will happen outside of Lightroom as well. It's going to perfectly mimic what's going on here. Now you also might look in this folder and say, well, okay, these are all Golden Gate Park, but half of them are these nature shots in the botanical garden and the other half are architectural shots. So I really want to have a couple of subfolders in there. You know better now. Don't do this outside of Lightroom. There's a couple different ways to do it. And let's see if I can find it, because yes, you can create a new folder, which would go into the Golden Gate Park like this. And actually, this is the way I don't like to do it, because I'm going to have to choose, create another one, create another one. I'm actually going to do it a much simpler way. I'm going to go up here, I'm going to click on Golden Gate Park, go up to this little plus icon, and we're going to actually add not a folder, but a subfolder. This is easier because it actually goes much more quickly. I'm going to call this Nature, and it has, and I'm going to put it inside of Golden Gate Park. And now if I click on this, you'll see we have Nature. And I'm also going to add another subfolder, and I'm going to call it Architecture. Again, I'm clicked on Golden Gate Park, so it puts these subfolders in here. They're grayed out because right now they are empty. They don't have anything in them. But we'll go ahead and click into this folder, go all the way up, hold the Shift key so that we can select these. I'm going to move these into Architecture. And here's an interesting thing. It says it's moving, but they don't actually move away. And that's because we're into the super folder, or the master folder. And I'm going to talk about this in a second. Let's just go ahead and get these guys moved. So these are going to go into Nature. And again, it's going to say that they're moving them, but it doesn't look like they're doing anything. That's because Lightroom has a very interesting way of for you to look into folders. So let's actually just start at the top here. If we go into everything else, this actually, if I clicked on that, it shows everything that's in all of those subfolders, in this case in capture time, but it doesn't show you the subfolders at this point. It just shows you everything in order. If I click into individual folders, then it's only going to show what's in that folder. But again, it's not going to divide it into subfolders. But if I click into this, it's actually only going to have what's in the subfolder. It's a little bit different than the way that we look at things in other programs. It actually can be quite handy, but it might throw you off a little bit. If you only want to see what's in an individual folder, you need to click into that folder. It's not going to be separated if you're in the master folder. Okay, that's a start. We're going to do more in future videos, but that will help you to get started with your organization.